Hey guys, in this video we start on the fuel system for the K24 DC5. So yes, today we're going to get started on the fuel system for the K24 DC5. Now this is probably going to be a part 1 video or a part A video because there is a lot to do in the fuel system and I don't have everything that will complete the fuel system, and the motor is not in the car yet. So what we're going to be doing is basically what I have here and what I'm going to show you, and we also have one extra part. So the first thing I'll show you is the extra part. The extra part is a intake spacer. Now I'm not sure if you can see, but I will show you. But the intake manifold will hit the power steering, so that is in the way there and it will hit, so we need to extend this out, and Skunk has a spacer just for that, so I've got a spacer here that I will install as well. Now on the fuel side we have a Walboro 255 wall pump, so it's 255 litre per hour fuel pump. Now the reason why we went for this fuel pump instead of a stock replacement or like an 044 or something like that is because we need more fuel, and this car is not supposed to be on stock power. We want to make power, we want to make more power, and we want to have a good fuel flow and a good fuel system. So the reason why we are going this 255 fuel pump is because we are going to be going a bigger size injector. Now the stock injector size is, I believe, 350cc or below. I haven't really found any correct information on what the injectors were, and I can't really see on the old ones. But we're not going to be going 350cc or below. This is not a stock K24, and this will never be a stock K24. And this build is not going backwards. It's only going to be going up, and we're going to be pushing more power. So we are going 1000cc injectors. We have a set of Bosch Xspurt 1000cc injectors with connectors and extenders if we need, and pins as well for the harness. The reason why we are going 1000cc injectors is because we need it. There's no really other reason to say why, and it's future proofing. We're going to make so much power in the future, there's no need to buy a lower cc injector and then max them out for no reason. Why not get a 1000cc injector and play it safe, which is what I like to do. I don't want to buy everything that's just for a certain point and it's going to cap and the car's going to surge and all those things. I really don't want that. So we are going to be going 1000cc injectors. Now if you have an aftermarket fuel pump, an aftermarket injectors and an aftermarket intake, you obviously need an aftermarket fuel rail, which is what we have. We have a hybrid racing aftermarket fuel rail. Now this is going to fit on the Skunk 2 intake with the injectors, and the fuel pump is obviously going to be in the car, which we will get to later. The car is a whole different story and we'll need to rip the seats out for that. Now let me show you what's in the box. Alright guys, so this is the hybrid racing fuel rail. Let's do a little unboxing, a quick unboxing just to show you what we have. So we have the fuel rail here. It is a Kswap or a fuel rail, not a specific to K20. Not a car specific rail, because this is a K24 which came from an Accord, and it's going in a DC5 which is an RSX in America, and the TSX which is the Accord, so it's better off getting a Kswap one. They're all pretty much the same. I'm not exactly sure what's different, but this is the one that fits for K24 with an aftermarket fuel rail. Aftermarket intake manifold. So this does fit the Skunk. It's pretty cool. You've got this side open here, this side open here, obviously your 4 injector holes here, and of course mounting points. Pretty sick, huh? It also comes with a bit of different fittings. I'm not sure what size they are, 1/8 APT, 1/6 and other sizes, but I'll leave a note there. And of course 2 block offs, 1 for each side, one underneath too, I believe. Yep, that's the fuel rail. Let me show you the injectors. So the injectors are Bosch Xspurt 1000cc injectors. Comes like this. We've got a set of 4,000cc injectors here. Now these injectors are 4, and they come with extenders if we need now or in the future, but I don't think we need them now because I did do a test fit and they did fit. But in the future, if we need them, we have them. And it also comes, if you didn't see, with the connectors. Now the reason why you have these connectors is because the OEM fuel rail, or sorry, the OEM harness has a different pin for a different cc injector. So for example, a 2000cc injector will have a different pin on the loom as a 1000cc injector. So the 1000cc injector has a different pin on the loom for that car, right? So for this car, it has the whatever the stock one is. Let's say it's 300cc. The pin on the stock injector is a 300cc pin on the injector itself, and of course the female side on the loom. So that's wrong. That doesn't fit with 1000cc injectors. So that's why we've been given these pins, and that will be another video where we grab the wiring harness, which is somewhere there. You guys will see it later. It's at the back there. We will do a proper video on that, on pinning, repinning things such as the injector pins. And of course we've got rubbers here, spacers, cool Xspurt sticker, and rubbers. This is the set of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's open one up. Just give you a close up. So yeah, that, my friends, is a 1000cc injector. Doesn't seem like a lot, seems small, but that's what it is, dude. And this is also the correct length and height for K24 aftermarket. So don't just think that it's small just because it looks small, but different sizes for different engines, different cars, different applications, such as 1JZ. 1JZ is longer, this is a shorter one. Next up is the Walboro 255 fuel pump. Pretty simple packaging. Let's see, our box empty now. So we actually have all the things surrounding the pump. We have wiring, we have the filter, this filter here which goes connects to the pump. We have hose clamps, again wiring, the cover, this black cover here, and a bunch of other little bits and pieces in there. And then we have the fuel pump itself. That's just a pressure thing. But yeah, here is the 255 made in USA, 255 fuel pump. Now this should fit pretty directly into the hanger of the DC5 hanger. So once you remove the fuel pump for the DC5, this should be easy to just drop in, connect up, set all this up, and it should be working absolutely fine. But yeah, that's that. Now just the extra item here, it is the intake spacer. I got them in silver, black wasn't in stock, but I don't really mind about the color. The contrast is cool, so yeah, that's the spacer like this. It's a 0.5 liter, I don't know if you can see, but it is a 0.5, so half liter spacer. So that gives us half liter of more air coming in to the engine through the intake, which is pretty cool. More air is always good, better for combustion, and of course, right, if you have more air coming in, you will also need more fuel and more spark for combustion, right? So that is also another reason why, if we're upgrading the intake, we need to upgrade the injectors, the fuel rail, the fuel pump, and of course spark plugs and coil packs. That will be separate, but yeah, we need to do all these things to make sure that everything is working together in unison to make good power, and good power reliably. It also comes with the bolts that we need. So moving on to the motor here, we have the intake here. I think the first thing I'm going to do is pop this off. We're going to pop the intake manifold off because I didn't put it on tightly. I'm going to pop it off and then separate this, put the spacer, and then attach the fuel rail onto it too. That way when we, it'll be way easier to attach it to this and then put it onto the put it back onto the motor. Okay, now that we have the intake off, we're just going to separate it here, so that's where we're going to put the spacer. I'm just going to go through this quickly so we can move on to the injector side. So these, you will need a 5mm hex. If you can find something that works, it works, but try not to just smash it with an impact or something, because you will damage. There's not actually, you can't really use an impact, but somehow if you find one that's tight, you'll probably break the screw, so be careful. Well, there you go, easy as that, comes off. Oh, look at that, that looks so cool. It kind of reminds me of like ITVs or something. It's pretty hard to see though. Yeah, kind of reminds you of like ITVs, that's pretty cool. And that's the top part of this car. So yeah, just pop this old gasket off and we'll get a injector, spacer. So with the spacer we have 2 gaskets, so one that goes on the front side and one that goes on the rear side, and then we put this spacer, boom boom. So it is pretty cool, nice silver CNC spacer. I'm pretty sure it is billet, I don't know if it is. But yeah, 0.5 liter, I don't have to zoom, the focus can get that. Let's see. Guess I'll put a photo, but yeah. Pretty big, don't you think? It is a pretty big spacer if you think about it. Comparing to, there's a little metal bit here, right? That's just above this, right? That's that, but then you got this big spacer, dude. So it is fairly big, and it will move the intake. So even look at this, right? You already have this much here, yeah, and you're adding this much on top. It's quite a lot. So yeah, old one, chuck it away, and let's pop this on. Okay, I believe the way, I don't think it doesn't really matter which way it goes because both sides are the same. So let's just pop this gasket there. I want the skunk 05 liter to be on top, right? This is the top of the manifold. So let's put this like this. Oh, that is pretty fat, hey? That is a pretty big spacer. Sorry, I'm stupid. Oh yeah, no, the gasket's there. I thought I forgot the gasket. Like that. And then this gasket goes on top. On this. The way the skunk badge is showing. Then just move this forward. I like how it's kind of easy to put, like that doesn't fall. Just like that, eh? So if we look from this angle, wow, that is a pretty beefy spacer. Look at that. That's quite a lot, man. That's half a liter. That's half a liter, wow, yeah. So we're getting half a liter more. That's a pretty fat spacer, dude. Okay, I thought this would be a bit easier, but we're gonna flip it around because they've got holes on this side and make it a lot easier for us to install this. The bolts in. Oh right, that's right. So we're not using these anymore because these are way too small, and they have given us a good new set. This comes with, when you buy the spacer, it comes with obviously the extended ones that you need, which is perfect because we do need these. Just
crack them open. They're all the same size, I believe. Yeah, they're all the same size. And yeah, it's easy to do it this way, so you can line them up and don't have to struggle to get all these in. Technically I don't have to do all of these, but I like to line them up, but just make my life easier. Oh, what I didn't want to happen, and that happened. Gasket on first. And the gasket seems to be both sides the same, so I don't think it matters which way you put the gasket, as long as you put it on the right way where it fits and lines up. Okay. This way. Ooh. Pretty easy to line everything up, I'm not gonna lie. So once you line up the top, the bottom will line up already. So just hand screw them, I guess, until you feel like they're going in, and you can line up all the other ones. This would have been a bit more convenient if it wasn't a hex. Yeehaw, look at that, that's cool, that's sick. Hectic space that looks, the silver looks so good, man. That looks so bomb. Look at that. Oof, looks even better now. Okay, now that we have this spacer on, we are gonna move on to the fuel rail and the injectors. So the fuel rail, racing. Just gonna pop out the fuel rail itself for now. Fuel rail. Hybrid racing fuel rail. That's gonna sit like, yep, like that. And these holes here, that's gonna line up there. Just bolt these in, bolt this in. And the injectors already line up and will fit in this gap here. So I'll show you from this side. Hybrid racing side up. Screws or bolts line up here. And kaboom. Injectors go in here. Pretty simple, pretty cool. Let's get it done. So firstly, I'm going to pop the injectors into the fuel rail. I feel like it'd be easier to do that first. So let's grab the injectors. And I'll also show you that we don't need the connectors, I believe. Now I tried them already before. I type 1 and the connectors were not necessary. So we'll see how that goes. 1, 2. I don't take the rubbers off, you're not supposed to. 4. Oops. 4. So since it's going on like that, right? It's going on like that. You obviously have this side going into the car and this side going into the rail. It's not this way, guys. Okay, it's not that way. The injector is shooting into the car, So this side is where the fuel comes in. Now, I don't really think it matters which way you have this, as long as it's convenient for your for the loom, right? So I don't think it's convenient to have it like this. That means your loom has to come this way or on top. So the best way would be to face it inwards. That way when this is bolted down, you have space on the top to put the loom for the injectors in. So make sure you do it that way, otherwise you're gonna have to pull this all off because you can't spin it around when it's in there. And then you can't really do it like this. It's gonna come underneath and plug on top, and it's gonna look really ugly and weird. So for practicality, like that. So let's pop them in. Pretty simple. It's a bit like a push and twist. And you'll feel it, catch onto the rubber, and won't go in anymore. And boom. So you can move it while it's out, just lightly. Don't be too harsh. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So get all 4 in there. 2. Yeah. So don't try and force it. Spin it in. See, as you saw, I tried to force it and it wasn't going in. So look, if I try to force it, it doesn't really go in. So just give it a spin and it goes in so easily. Simple, right? Last one. 1000cc injectors, huh? 1000cc is quite a lot, as everyone will say. But this car is, going to be making more power. Is going to be going turbo in probably a year. So a year after this is running and done, and a year after all the suspension is done. But yeah, we want more power, more fuel, and we don't want to bottleneck ourselves. So yeah, that is the 1000cc injectors in there, in the rail, and now we're just gonna line them up and pretty much shove them in. So just like that, I'm gonna push. Give it a bit of a shimmy. Now, okay. It probably would be easier to do it on the car, as this would be held tight onto the engine, but we're still going to try. And I'm not sure where these screws are, but we'll find them and place this in, these bolts. Let's try and get in. So you want the green rubbers to go inside, right? You don't want to see those rubbers. Cool, so I've got the right side in. Let me just get the left side. There you go. So you're not supposed to see the Xspurt sign as well. So yeah, that's in. I mean, I believe you're not supposed to see the Xspurt sign. Oh yeah, so you can see the injectors. You can see the injectors, I guess. I'm not sure if you can in these holes. These holes here. Oh, not sorry, these holes, which is dumping fuel, right? It's very hard to see. I don't think you can, but yeah, that's where the injector comes through, just like that. So that is the injectors in like that. Come on, Cam. Don't do this to me. Focus up. Okay, so yeah, those are the injectors in. You can see them there. It's fairly, quite in. It's pretty tight. See, it's very hard to move these, right? So don't, be an idiot and keep moving and shoving them. But yeah, that's the injectors in. And if you're not confident that it's in, right, you have to bolt down the rail anyway, which will push it further in, which is exactly what you need. What I need, but I'm not sure with this. So right now you can see it's kind of free, and it is above the holes, so it's not actually sitting on the holes, which means you need to bolt them up to tighten it down. Now, just on the fuel rail itself, we will need a couple more parts to complete this. You obviously need, I think, 3 more things. Fuel pressure gauge. Now that can be here or that can be digital. We'll see what we do with that later. But the 2 other requirements is obviously a return hose that goes a return and feed, so that goes into the rail and delivers the fuel to the injectors, and then comes out of the rail and goes into the fuel pressure regulator. Now that is coming, we have that on the way, and that will be placed in the car. So that's what I mean by, we have stuff to do here and we have stuff to do outside on the car, such as the fuel pump and the fuel reg. Now the fuel reg is going to be mounted somewhere in the bay. I have to have a look. I can't just go online and search. I got to see what the condition my bay is in and where I can place it, especially with the motor back in. So we'll probably attack the reg and the reg when the car has a motor in it. That way we can see where all the lines are, how much length we need. But yeah, that is the rail in. Pretty simple, huh? I'm gonna find these 2 bolts and see where we go from there. Alright, so I found a couple 12 mils. So this bolt hole here, that is a 12 mil, and I just found a couple on the bench. I'm not sure what they're for, but if I need to replace them, I'll replace them. But you will need a smaller size because you don't want to go too long and it will come through and hit something at the back. But I also will need to purchase a nut or washer at the back just to make sure it's secure. For now, I'm just going to send it in, the impact. Not like that, obviously. Not ruining the damn thing. And get it in with your hand first. You don't damage any threads, which I think I just damaged. Alright, we're going to put the other side in first. I think I damaged that. Once this side's in, the other side will go in easily. Sweet. So yeah, good luck moving the injectors after that. Very hard. But yeah, that's it. You know, that's in. So yeah, bolts are in. Pretty happy with how it looks. Looks sick. Injectors, bolts up. Now I'm gonna pop back onto the car. The engine. Okay, big boy going on. Look at that. It's easily away from the power steering now. Ooh. I don't know if you can see, but right over here is when it was hitting. Right now it's free. It's easy to, it looks sick too. Let's get these top 2 in so it doesn't lean like this. This is why I get impact. Hell. Everything okay? Camera, everything okay? I think we'll just leave it finger tight for now. But that's it, guys. Jokes. So that is far out, man. Camera keeps falling out. Alright, we're gonna go mobile. So okay, so that is the spacer, fuel rail, and 1000cc injectors installed. As you can see, lines up brilliantly. Pretty cool, huh? Sorry, I'm gonna strip. So that's that part. Now, as I mentioned before, we'll need a reg, a gauge, possibly a gauge, optional, and lines, a return and feed for the fuel rail to get fuel. Otherwise, how is the car gonna get fuel? How is the injectors gonna get fuel? And we also put the spacer here. More space, more air, need more fuel, need more combustion to clear this. Now we've cleared the power steering, which will make everything easier. Vacuum hoses, maybe this goes here, right? Ooh, it doesn't, but I'm just saying. What is this anyway? This is power steering, yeah. It's probably got some bullshit, I don't know. I don't remember where it goes, but yeah. We also have a new, oh my goodness, 70mm throttle body, but I'll show you guys, it's there. I'll show you guys that one later. Now that we're done here, I'm gonna move on to the car. We're gonna take the back seats off and pull the fuel pump out to replace the fuel rail. Cool. Alright guys, so I know I said that we're gonna go to the car next, but that's actually going to be part 2 of the video of the fuel system. So the video is going to end here, unfortunately, because there is a lot more to do than I thought. For the fuel pump hanger, we're going to have to modify it to fit the new fuel pump. So we're going to have to get a Dremel or get something that can cut, because the fuel pump hanger has like a sort of float, and it sits in the float, and we're going to have to cut the float open and remove a couple plastic parts around it and cut it off to fit a bigger pump in. We're also gonna have to do a new line from the fuel pump and cut the other one out, come out of the fuel hanger. So there's a lot more to do on that side, on the car side. So that's gonna be a separate video. And on top of that, because we are running E85 as well, we need to do a return line. It's good to do a return line either way, but especially if you're doing E85, we'll have to route another return line with a external fuel filter as well. So that's something the car doesn't have, and we're gonna have to do that as well. So we're gonna pause on the fuel system for there, and that's gonna be another part, and we're gonna attack that later when the motor and gearbox is back in the car. So thank you guys for watching. This is part 1 of the fuel system. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe and stay tuned for more. Thanks.